Shut the fuck up.
Yo, what up?
I hate you. I'm sitting here with my morning coffee, almost not the morning, watching a video called League is F at asterisk King Lonely by made this esports, the score esports, and I'm just gonna give a hot take on this video. Girlfriend seal of approval right there. See what they have to say.
For some people, League of Legends has become a very lonely experience.
I'm gonna put keyword. The keyword here is for some people. Means this guy. He looks lonely. He doesn't even need to tell me. I can already tell.
Players are complaining that Riot's anti-toxicity measures over the years have turned the game into an isolated, silent experience.
That's not true.
Others have said that League's increasingly sweaty competitiveness is to blame. So,
League is by nature a competitive game. So, it's a competitive game. It's not a casual game, it's a competitive game. That's it.
Let's talk about the League of Loneliness.
Sounds like your dating life, bro.
League of Legends has been called a lot of things over its 14-year history.
Let's hear it.
Massive, addictive, inventive, well-balanced, poorly balanced, toxic, inspirational,
It's fine.
frustrating,
Most
and
popular
at
game in the
times,
world.
even fun. Yeah, but one adjective that's begun to creep in more and more over the years is lonely.
Buddy,
For a
you're just
lot
making
of
this
players,
up.
League is starting to feel lonely. Now, the first theory as to why this is Riot's anti-toxicity campaign.
Bro, have you just not had enough fucking things to do in your day, and you're just like, I'm gonna make up something about a problem I have with League because I fucking suck at it.
2019 study by the Anti-Defamation League into hate, harassment, and positive social experiences in online games found that 36% of League players experience frequent harassment, 27%.
Okay, that is actually probably a gross misinterpretation, and the misinterpretation is gonna be way higher than that.
Of players surveyed said they eventually ended up quitting or avoiding the game due to harassment, and found that the game ranked 12 out of 15 games studied for positive social experiences. Toxicity.
Yeah, it is pretty toxic, I will say that.
Battling in League of Legends since pretty much day one, and they've introduced a lot of measures to.
I will fully agree with that. League is very toxic. Just mute everybody.
Combat it over the years. 10 years ago, Riot introduced temporary chat restrictions for toxic players, limiting their in-game messages for a number of games. 4 years ago, League players became able to permanently mute their teammates and enemies in all games forever. This time last year, Riot introduced disruptive speech detection that automatically mutes toxic teammates. In February of this year, they introduced the ability for players to mute themselves. And last month, Riot removed the ability for players to ping their allies. They said a significant segment of players ping their teammates' death timers and the like for non-constructive reasons, and that they think the game as a whole would be better without this.
Yeah, I mean, all pretty good things, honestly. They should also get rid of being able to buy accounts, and then that would solve a big problem.
Now, Riot have been eager to share the results of these and other behavioral system changes, most recently in May, where they said they'd seen a positive trend in player behavior thanks in part to features such as automatic muting. I only mentioned a few of Riot's measures there, but I don't think anyone can dispute they have been making a real effort to combat toxicity. And
nice.
I think
we agree.
There has been some.
Let's get to the lonely part.
But for some players, any reduction in toxicity has kind of come at a price. They argue that League of Legends social experience has become collateral damage in the fight against toxicity and turned the game into an isolated, solitary experience. In any given game, you have.
That's why it's called solo queue, because you're queuing up solo by yourself.
Have some players that are chat restricted and are unable to talk, some players that are able to talk but not willing, and some players that are able and willing to talk but won't because they've deafened every other.
What do you need to talk, bro? Like, is this like social fucking life for you? Like, you need to make friends with every person you play League of Legends with? Like, I don't understand, bro. You're never gonna see these people in your life. All right.
player. And the remaining players, without any communication restrictions, self-imposed or otherwise, find that they're just talking into the void. Their words and pings not being replied to, maybe not even...
Use pings, don't type. There's very little typing that you need to do in League. Your League typing should consist of something that isn't readily pingable. Like if you're split pushing and you have TP, be like, hey, I'm splitting, play for Baron, I TP. Like that's the essence of anything that should be typed in League, if you're trying to win the game. Like, you shouldn't be saying anything negative if you're trying to win.
Even being seen. The kind of absurdity of this situation has not been lost on the community. Many feel like the ability to communicate is being stripped away at an almost comical level. But it's not just the behavioral system that is being blamed for the League of Loneliness. Others are blaming it on the try-hard, sweaty nature of the game too.
You mean the competitive aspect that people sign up for?
New
okay.
Players are immediately exposed to a world of Smurfs who expect them to know the game inside
A world
out.
of Smurfs.
All the champions, their abilities, their interactions with each other, items, build pass, early game, mid game, late game strategy, and whatever the meta of the month is.
I will say that most people are disillusioned, and I will also say that most people, that when they start a new account in League of Legends and they're actually a brand new person, yeah, there's a lot of Smurfs, because a lot of people buy accounts because they get banned or restricted, or they believe that the evil Rito god is out to kill them, and they just buy new accounts for like $5. Has fresh MMR, it's level 30, and then they get put in all of these, low elo games, or they're leveling up accounts, and they just get super mad at people because it's their 10th account and they've been banned like 9 times.
It's a lot, and if new low rank or casual players don't keep up, they're
That's
either
just
going
this
to get
guy.
flamed or softened,
That's just these
or
people.
end up in that silent bubble we've talked about. Now, some have blamed this hyper-competitive culture on Riot's push for the game to become a sport in its own right.
That was the whole point of making League of Legends.
Mentality has filtered throughout the player base.
It's like starting to play hockey and you're like, yeah, I don't want the NHL because people will try too hard at the NHL.
Leaving it a better place to try hard than to socialize. And honestly, this might be a trade-off that Riot are fully aware of. Some have pointed out that the very complexity of the game that has allowed League of Legends to flourish as a spectator sport has created an unfriendly atmosphere for new or casual players.
No, it actually makes a better atmosphere because it gets people excited about playing the game.
Something friendly and social. The argument here isn't that it's impossible to have a sociable game that caters to competitiveness and tries to stamp out toxicity, just that Riot's approaches to achieve those things may have unintentionally led to a lonely experience. One counter to this argument is the existence of normal games in League of Legends. This is supposed to be the place where you can relax, free from tryharding, where you're less likely to run into chat-restricted players or people who just full mute themselves.
No, dude, no.
But even this week, there's been complaints that Riot's new policy of restricting toxic players from ranked until they complete a certain amount of normal games has turned normals into a hellscape of Smurf.
Dude, that is just not true. Normals and ranked is like, they are just as toxic as one or the other. Adding the rank restriction for people to have to play normals to get back into, like, that is a good thing. People should not be allowed to troll in rank. Like, if you're going to have a rank system and you're going to, like, hold it in a high regard, then you shouldn't have, like, if you're being negative, it just means you don't want to win the game. 100%. If you type anything other than positive encouragement or a strategy that you're going to implement in order to win the game that you need to communicate, you are actively trying to lose the game. 100%.
And trolls. But the general wisdom over the years has been, hey, if you want to chill out, chat, maybe even make a friend or two, play normals. If you want to sweat your own body...
Who's making friends on League of Legends? My god, this guy probably.
...wait to gain LP, that's what solo queue is for.
The way I view it, and the way we view it, is that
solo Coach Curtis.
queue is it is a lonely, solo-esque experience. It is only
broken by
you.
concept.
There is no teamwork. There is no camaraderie. There is none of that.
Watch
That's
him not
exactly
get the
what
rest of it.
It is me versus everyone else on the ladder. Even your teammates, you will verse them at some point. So it's like
They're gonna
there
take
is
this out of
no-
context.
There is no team. I don't view it as it's not a team game at all. Right, in the grand scheme of things.
Now, some of you.
Oh my god, if you watch the whole clip, he goes on to say that it's just like, that's a small snippet of what he's actually trying to say. Oh, this
I call
guy.
that a cynical view, but I think it's a fair
Shut up,
point.
Steph.
Isn't solo queue supposed to be the try-hard experience, even if it's a lonely one? The Riot O players a sociable experience in ranked, or have they already carved that space out with normals? I think there is an argument to be made that the loneliness that some players are feeling is an unfortunate but unavoidable byproduct.
What do you mean people who are sweaty in League, they don't have a social life. They're lonely because they don't go outside and they don't touch grass. My god.
Of playing competitive ranked. It's a feeling that may have gotten worse after Riot's ping or chat changes or the game's growing complexity, but not because of them necessarily. Is solo queue in League of Legends, the mode of choice for most players of the game, supposed to offer people a sociable experience?
No, there's nothing social about the game other than it's a team game. You're not supposed to be friends with your teammates. You're not supposed to be buddy. You just you queue up. You play your position as best you can, you be positive, and you try to win the game. That's it. What are you trying to find a waifu on League of Legends, bro? Trying to find a Discord kitten? My god. This man.
It's the opposite of the loneliness we've been talking about. Or is it supposed to offer just a hyper-competitive environment
It's
where
competitive.
you're not going to get verbally abused or trolled? Because whether or not you think they've been successful in this, that seems to be what Riot values more highly when you look at the changes they've made. So, do you think the League of Loneliness exists? If so, do you think Riot
It doesn't exist. You're an idiot. You're a clickbait idiot.
has an obligation to change that experience for
No, it's not a casual game. Dude, go play Fortnite, you fucking
the
idiot.
players affected? Or do you think League players are looking for sociability in all the wrong places? This is a gift from my co-worker Matt Massey, who
Yeah.
bought me this while we were on the same work trip in the UK. This is a well-known pastry chain, I guess you could call it, in the UK. They basically keep half of like northern England running.
Okay, buddy. Well, I'm just gonna leave it at that. This guy's a fucking idiot and make clickbait videos. If you want to play League casually, just play ARAMs, play normals, play with your friends, and don't give a fuck about winning and have fun. That's how I started playing League, and that's how a lot of people play League, and just don't give a fuck. If someone be's toxic, just mute them, mute and report them. And that's literally it. Then you never have to hear from them ever again. That's literally it. And if you want to play competitive, then just play ranked. And again, be positive and don't type negative things. Don't run it down. Just play the game as best you can. If someone's mean to you and hurts your feelings, just mute them. That's it. Say hi, Stephanie.
My friends.